What is up, folks, and welcome to the BJT Show. I'm your host, Byron. And in this episode, I have a very special guest. He used to play running back for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and he played in the NFL for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Arizona Cardinals. Running back Jonathan Dwyer Sr. Jonathan, thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity.
So you went to Georgia Tech to play football. What was your high school, recruitment like and everything else, and what made you decide to play at Georgia Tech?
My recruitment was pretty wild, just for the standpoint of just like so many people pulling at you. I think like a few schools were just over the top of their recruiting, which I was flattered by it. But like Ohio State was constantly on me. Ole Miss was like sending letters to like my aunts and uncles and my parents and my brother. My brother was like 10 or something, like he was really young. And then just the constant just where you're going, because I was in a way like I was the first big recruit in our high school, so like that was pretty wild with like the student body and everything, and walking in the hallways and stuff with like Urban Meyer or uh trying to think of the head coach from Auburn at the time, Tuberville, and Nick Saban came by the school when he was at before he was at Alabama, and Mark Rick was there, so it was pretty wild. And then just to go to Tech, I think it was probably the guys I ended up going to school with, just the guys I ended up playing with, like Morgan Burnett, Josh Nesbitt, Demarius Thomas, and many other guys. It's just we decided to just all play together and make something happen.
What was your experience like playing at Georgia Tech?
It was fun, man. I mean, you're in the heart of the city of Atlanta. Um, you know, at the time, like we were the biggest show in the city at the time period, because not a lot of other sports were pretty good, like weren't good. Like the Falcons weren't really good during the time. The Hawks weren't good. The Braves were mediocre and everything, but like we were running Atlanta at the time period. So it was fun playing the night games in the skyline in Atlanta. We scored a lot of points and we had fun.
What was your favorite memory from playing football as far as like favorite game while being in college, whether that be a bowl game or some type of crazy statistical game that you had?
Individually, I would probably say I had a couple of games like against Vanderbilt and against Miami that were pretty good, but like team wise, beating Georgia, that's easy.
So y'all beat Georgia.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I mean, we went down there, and in the between the hedges, and beat a very, very talented Georgia team. They had Matt Stafford, No Sean Marino, Muhammad Massaquoi, a young AJ Green who was playing like a grown man. A lot of defensive players like Rashad Jones, Rennie Curran. The list goes on. Like they were loaded. Geno Atkins, but we went down there and handled business.
So you played NFL football for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Arizona Cardinals. What was your sort of transition like from playing college football to going into the NFL, being a rookie for the Steelers?
I would just say like knowing this understanding it's a business. So the way the game is now, like, college is almost like the NFL now. Like it's a business. Back then it was, there's no money involved. When you get to the league, money's involved. So contracts and stuff like that. And seeing one guy there for a couple of days and he's gone the next. Um, having a roommate throughout camp, he thinks he makes the team. A week later, he's not on the team. Like it was just how cutthroat the business is. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a dream come true for me.
Now, with you being a rookie, were you hazed at all, or had to do rookie duties like carrying helmets and stuff like that?
Our running back room wasn't like wild like that. Like we were really chill. The most I did was I had to bring breakfast every Saturday. Home games it was Popeyes, which is wild. That early in the morning. um, Away games is like whatever breakfast they wanted. There's a little breakfast spot called Pamela's that everybody wanted like pancakes and stuff from. And then I would say the other thing was bring snacks to the meeting room.
So, with you bringing snacks and all the rookie duties and everything, have you seen Hard Knocks, and how does that compare to like how it actually is?
I would say it's pretty close to being as authentic as it possibly can be. I think that, like first, I watched the Hard Knocks day with the AFC North. How Mike T is in the meeting. That's how he is in the meeting. Maybe some words might be a little more, explicit. Other than that, like from the standpoint of his getting his message across, that's straight up. Like he's gonna give you the keys to the game. He's gonna tell you who's this and who's that, and he's gonna make it. It's honestly to God truth.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike Tomlin does not mess around at all.
No,
What was it like being on a team with so many different players like the Ryan Clarks and the Troy Polamalu's and Antonio Browns and types of players?
I mean you're around guys who are Hall of Famers, and in my eyes, I think Ryan Clark should be a Hall of Famer. You have like you said Troy. Troy's like the soft spoken, doesn't like the attention, but he's the rock star of the group. And then you have other guys like James Harrison and Lamar Woodley, and then you have Ben, you have Heath Miller. Just name a few guys. Like it was pretty cool. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, like the fact that like you get to play with those type of players and those caliber players, so it actually makes you have to raise your game up each and every day at practice and in games.
Have you ever been starstruck in the NFL in a way? Like, wow, I grew up watching this player, and then now I'm able to play against this player or see them around or be on the same team or anything like that?
Um, Defensive players, no. It was because I guess it was just like playing as Ray was pretty cool and like Ed Reed and stuff like that, but probably meeting LaDainian Tomlinson was probably like my like, oh man, like I'm here because it's like that's the guy that I looked up to as one of my favorite running backs of all time. And when I got like after a game, he told me I had a good game. Shook my hand. It was like keep going. You'll be special. It's that type of thing. Like just gave me that more added motivation that I needed, and kind of solidified that I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah, LaDainian Tomlinson back then was one of the best. He's one of my favorite running backs ever.
Yeah.
So I
During
understand.
that time, he was like on the tail end of his career, but he was still a dude though, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. What was it like playing against players like, Tom Brady and going against those Patriots defenses and, the Ravens and such?
I mean, the Patriots defenses during that time were okay. I would say the Ravens defenses were obviously better and more. They were tougher to go against. But like seeing Tom work though was pretty cool. Like I said, like I mean, obviously 2 years ago he was playing, and like to see him still on that type of level for that longevity of time, I think that we people take it for granted. It's almost like the LeBron thing. Like you see this guy who's been playing at a high level. As soon as he's gotten the opportunity and he's taking advantage of it and he's winning championships, and people get upset about it and bash it, but they don't realize the greatness and take it for granted. So, but he was special. Like him, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers because he cooked this in the Super Bowl, so I'm not gonna talk about him too much. But like, there's a lot of players that you can list and talk about that we went against, like Phillip Rivers and players on the defensive end side, like Luke Kuechly, like when I was in Arizona, and then like Thomas Davis was a good player, great player to play against, and things like that. So there's a lot of players I can go down the list with.
What was your day-to-day preparation like in the NFL, such as, being in the facility, watching film, working out, and, getting ready for the game?
My rookie year was kind of like I just like kind of like going off the seat of my pants, kind of just because like you're young, so you don't really need that much treatment because you bounce back a little quicker, things like that. But as my career went on, like after my first year, pretty much my second year and all, and I was in Pittsburgh. Like Heath Miller was like my vet. Like whatever Heath was doing, I was trying to do it. Like because I saw the way he carried himself, I saw the way he presented himself, and I was like, I gotta like. And Heath does, and Heath was so special for our team. It was like I gotta do whatever he's doing. But yeah, it was that was the person I tried to do everything like. I tried to due to my routine with him and everything like that. So that's pretty much the person I was trying to do, and just watching film on a consistent basis throughout the week to try to understand, defenses and understand how they blitz because I was a big time third down back, so I had to learn how to pick up blitzes and understand their tendencies and things like that. So because I got to protect the $100 million quarterback behind me. So just got to do my job and things like that.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
Just being here, just having the opportunity just to be there, honestly. Like, I don't think there was like a real, like, welcome to the NFL moment. It was just like realizing I'm here and walking to that locker room and seeing the legends and seeing all the tradition of Pittsburgh and things like that. That was pretty much my like welcome to the NFL moment.
Have you ever had like a fan experience where, say, you were out and about and people are just like, "Can I have a picture? Can I get an autograph or anything like that?"
Um, Unfortunately, I've experienced that at an early age. I experienced that around 17 years old when I was in high school. Like I said, like I mean, that's when like social media became really kind of like introducing. So like I started getting recognized at the mall when I was like in high school. People would ask me where I'm going. Um, so I've been signing autographs since I was 17. So that was pretty wild and pretty weird to me, but I adjusted to it and just kept it pushing.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I've been around some top recruits in high school and just can kind of see like all the attention and people being like, "Where are you going to school? Where are you going to school?" And just basically a whole frenzy. So yeah, I've seen that from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, I think this the way the world is now, like you're gonna get that national attention that sometimes some kids do want and some kids don't want. Me, like I didn't really care for the attention. Like I even now, like people recognize me now. If you do, great. If you don't, like I'm not gonna like it's not gonna bother me. But I think it's cool though. Like kids still, and kids will tell you like, oh, I remember being at your football camp when you were younger. I remember all these different types of things. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What has your transition been from playing in the NFL and then going into retirement and such?
Pretty much just transitioning, just realizing what kind of figure out what I want to do with my life. I knew that I wanted at an early years of me playing. I knew I wanted to coach. I just didn't know when I was going to coach, and that life football for me playing was over. I kind of just slowly transitioned into that. I went into training first, training kids, and then I started actually coaching and everything like that. So it's been a great transition, man. Like at first it's kind of tough because you're trying to figure out like what am I good at? What can I do? Where do I start? Because in your whole life as an athlete, you kind of had like a schedule of what you're supposed to do each and every day. And now when that schedule's gone, it's an adjustment to figure out what you have to do. And then once you figure that out, then you're back into that same schedule routine that you were in before.
So with you going into coaching, what was it like for you to, you play football at Kell High School, right, in Georgia, and then when you transitioned into coaching, you became a coach at Kell High School. So was
Hmm.
that a full circle moment for you?
Yeah, it was kind of weird just in all reality. Just like, man, like I didn't know I was gonna be back here coaching. But it's great though because it's like this is my way of giving back to my community. I try to talk to these kids and give them the best guidance and give them the honest, real about how this business is and kind of just get them prepared for what they're about to step into, even though they say they understand, they know, but they don't know. And then you don't know until you actually get there. Then a lot of the guys that I have that are in college now, they call me now like, Coach, you weren't lying. Like you told me there's going to be a lot of running. You told me it was going to be like this. I was like, well, now you shouldn't be shocked. You should be ready just to adjust and keep it pushing. But it's pretty cool, and I'm having fun with it. I love coaching. I love being around the kids. They're fun to be around, and it's exciting to see them live their dream at the same time.
What would your advice be to anyone who wants to play college football and possibly go into the NFL, but also coach?
I would say this is a message for any college athlete, not just a football player. Like the biggest thing, man, is you really have to love what you do because there's going to be times and moments that you really don't. You'll question yourself, like, am I good enough, or am I? If this is for me, and then there's days that you're gonna be pushed so hard that you're like, man, so tired, I want to quit. But at the end of the day, you gotta realize that you love this game from when you were a little kid, and only just because it gets serious doesn't mean it doesn't change. Still have that love for the game, like you're a kid, enjoy it, have fun with it each and every day. But also, like you have to understand that you have to put the work in when the lights are off. Don't just do it when everybody's watching. Do it when no one's watching. Because what you do in the dark always comes into the light. So put God first. Work your tail off. Continue to have your goals. Be disciplined, and focus each and every day of winning those short-term goals each and every day, and then eventually you'll win those big goals.
Yeah, that's some really good advice. So now I want to get into sort of the fun part of the interview. I'm going to ask you
Okay.
a couple random questions, and you can answer them and kind of see about that.
All right,
So,
let's do it.
what's your favorite candy?
Reese's.
What's your favorite
Anything
movie?
Reese's. Movie, probably probably Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday's probably
Why?
my favorite.
Why Friday?
I like comedy movies at the end of the day. So like any movie that has some comedy in it, like I go from Friday, I can go to Life. Like I like the movie Life. I like um any of the Fridays after next Friday. So I like comedy movies more than anything.
What is your favorite Madden video game?
Probably obviously I'm gonna say 10 because that was my first one I was in. So that's probably my favorite one of all time.
Did you ever play as yourself in Madden?
Yeah, I definitely did. For the first, I did it one time and that was it. Just to like say like, like I played as myself in Madden. Like how cool is that type of thing? Because that was, I mean, obviously playing pro football is my dream since I was 5. So to be able to reach that type of goal was pretty cool.
Was there ever a time where you've gone against an athlete and it was like, okay, like not saying you were afraid, but more so like, all right, it's time to really lock in.
Probably the All American game I played in high school because it was like you hear about each other through the recruiting process, and then when you get there and you're actually playing against each other, and it's like, oh, this is what college is going to be like. When I was in that game, and it was like, okay, like I gotta like be detailed as much as I possibly can because obviously these guys are good. Obviously, we're all going to Division 1 Power 5 schools at the time, so we're all here to play. So I need to be locked in and just let's do this.
Who's your favorite musical artist?
Of all time is Jeezy. But right now, I listen to a little bit of everybody, like whatever the kids are listening to, whatever my son and my daughter are listening to. I'll vibe to it.
So any of the sort of new wave, hip hop and all that?
Yeah, so like I listen to Lil Baby and then all the new wave guys like Gunna and Young Thug and guys like that. And my daughter listens she listens to SZA and like people like that. So I listen to people like her or like Lotto and stuff like that. I listen to music like that sometimes with them.
What's your favorite meal?
Meal, probably just a home cooked meal. Just it could be anything, man. Like my wife cooks really good pastas and things like that. My mom does a great fried chicken and any type of soul food I can get, I'll take it. Things like that.
It's nice. Yeah, soul food is really good. Do you like seafood at all?
Yeah, I love fish. I love shrimp. Um, there's a lot of list of things that I kind of like.
With you playing running back in the NFL, do you think you could step in a game today and get at least 20 yards?
20 yards. Ooh, yeah, I can. I don't know how many times it's gonna take me, but I think I'll get it for sure. Yeah.
That's fair. What do you think the current state of the Pittsburgh Steelers is?
I mean, I kind of like what we're doing, man. Like, I like the fact that Mike has revived Russell. I think I like the way. I mean, we're going to play defense. This is what we do in Pittsburgh. We're going to, be physical. We're not going to be the most. We're not going to, give up big plays. We're going to be the most physical team out there and all that other stuff. I would say I love the way he revived Justin Fields. Like, Justin's from around here, so I'm glad he's doing well. And Mike's going to lead these guys like he always does, and he's gonna figure out a way to win.
Absolutely. Steelers are one of the best teams in the league. I'm not going to say like top five or top 10 per se, but I think they've done really well, all things considered. It's like, are they going to start Justin at first or Russell Wilson going to play when he's healthy and just all this stuff? But, in spite of all that, they've been doing really well.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy with it. I think obviously they're not the Lions right now is probably the best team in the NFL right now, but I like the way Pittsburgh's playing. I think we could definitely win the North for sure.
Who's your Super Bowl pick?
I wouldn't mind seeing Detroit win it. Like that would be great for football in general. They probably won't, but that's my pick for sure. Detroit.
Nice. Who was your favorite NFL team growing up?
I didn't have a team. I mean, I guess you could say Dallas just because like during that time period of like the '90s, like they had Dion, they had Emmett, like, and it had like they had everybody who wanted to watch. So like that's probably I would say them. But I just like players, man. Like growing up, just watching different players. Like I like watching Eric Allen because at the early age I was a corner, so I like watching Eric Allen. I like watching Sean T. As Sean Taylor got in the league, I liked watching. This is the Steelers defense at the time. I love watching the Steelers and Ravens defense because of the way they played. So I mean, and I was a big Eric Dickerson fan, even though he was older, but I love watching his tape and stuff like that. So at AP, I was a big Adrian Peterson fan too.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson is one of the best to ever do it.
Yep, he is.
Were you on the team in Arizona with Kurt Warner?
No, I was there with Carson Palmer. So I was there when Carson kind of revived his career too.
Nice, nice. I know
So
at one point they had like Carson Palmer, Drew Stanton,
yeah,
and like someone else. So yeah, I remember that.
yeah. I think I only played with Drew and Carson at the time, and then yeah, we were pretty good too during that time period. We were lighting up the scoreboard. We had like Fitz was still Fitz. We had some young receivers at the time, and yeah, we were pretty good. We had our DB room was pretty like sick. It was that was probably the best DB room I've ever been a part of.
Well, folks, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, which will be in the description box. And Jonathan's social medias will also be in the description box as well. Again, hope you all enjoyed it. And as I always say, if you have a good one,